If they're not motivated, what are you going to do? And the first question that a staff who's a professional learning community would do is, let's study student motivation. Let's get into the book that's out there called The Highly Engaged Classroom. And let's ask ourselves, do we really see in our students who are disengaged, what are the answers to these questions? How does this kid feel about being here? Is what we are exposing and presenting and driving them to in terms of their learning targets, is it interesting? Can we make it interesting? Can we get them to see the importance of what it is? And then Marzano and Deb Pickering and Tammy Heffelbauer say that the last one, huge. It will help motivate kids. It will let them see and go beyond a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Depending upon what you do, you will either convince kids that they aren't good at some things and can't learn some things, and we do it inadvertently, or you will definitely take a very conscious approach to the growth mindset. Because they will tell you that if a kid doesn't feel like they can do this, then they will become disengaged. They think that's the most important one. And so you're constantly checking, how good are we at these things? When you look at emotions, do we use effective pacing? Do I show enthusiasm? Oh my gosh, I can't imagine how kids survive in a classroom where the teacher isn't enthusiastic, where the teacher doesn't come going, I'm going to change the world today. I get to work with kids. I don't get that. I don't know why people do that. I don't know why people don't express openly to kids that you love what you do. That emotion, to demonstrate that intensity and that enthusiasm. If it's about interest, we use things like games, and we introduce controversy, friendly controversy. We have kids to debate things because they will become involved in that, right? Importance to it, connect it to their lives. All of you on the first day of school, you know you're going to give a student interest survey so that you will know what in the world they need to, their interests are, so that you might be able to connect it to some of the cold reads that you're going to have them do, or some of the work to connect to their lives in terms of explaining the learning targets. You'll do your interest surveys, and you'll categorize kids into their interest levels, and you'll think, now, how can I approach this with kids? But boy, self-efficacy. What's a mindset you have? An academic mindset that you have, that somewhere along the line you were convinced that there's just no way you could actually do this subject. A teacher down in Florida told me that my mindset is on word problems. I don't think I can do math word problems. I said, why is that? She says, well, in 6th grade, I had a math teacher that saw that I was struggling and I was doing poorly with word problems. And he just said, don't worry about it. Girls really aren't supposed to do word problems and shouldn't have to. Yeah. But we all have fixed mindsets. Let me do a little activity with you to see where you are, what the things that you're great at in regard to promoting a growth mindset over the fixed mindset. Because you're going to communicate to kids this message. What we're doing here is important. You can do it. And I'm not going to give up on you, even if you give up on yourself. That means you are promoting a growth mindset. You can do it. Coach K out of the University of Duke says the most powerful words anyone could ever hear would be, I believe in you. That's like saying you can do it, isn't it? So check yourself. Where would your thumb be? 1 is low, so your thumb would be right here. A 2 means you don't do this very often. You don't think about it consciously, so your thumb is at an angle. A 3 means I kind of do this, but it's not a real strong pattern. If you're pretty good at it and it's fairly consistent, you would put a 4 with your thumb at an angle. And if it's really something you hit on all cylinders on a regular basis, your thumb would be right here in front of you like this, okay, as a 5. So just reflect with me on learning and helping kids learn and helping them see a growth mindset. How good are you at helping students set personal academic goals and help them track their progress over time? Where would your thumb be? highly engaged classroom, and the work of Marzano said, it's got to be up here. So we make a very conscious effort to help kids track their progress over time. How good are you? Where would your thumb be in this one? I have students examine and reflect on their own effort and preparation. I actually have them spend time looking at their mistakes, reflecting on what was a simple mistake, what do you need more study of. I actually will ask the student, how much time did you study for this? Let's take a look at your homework grade right now, because it shows here that you really aren't doing the homework at a very high level. It's real sporadic in how it's being turned in. And if it were averaged into your grade, which I don't, if it were averaged into your grade, it wouldn't look very good. But here's the record of your effort right now. And so I'm going to say to you that you have got to do this work and start turning it in. Your preparation for your tests and for your assessments aren't very good, and I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to assign you to the directed study hall, and you'll do the work there, and I'll take a look at it more carefully with you, and honestly, that will help you be prepared the next time. How good are you? Where would your thumb be at this one? I have students connect to their own personal theories about learning. You know, some kids have never even thought about learning. They just think we do stuff to them. They haven't explored, and it's probably because we haven't explored with them the concept of learning. Why I give assignments, how the brain works, how we store information, how we retrieve information. Where's your thumb on this one? I am very, very careful to avoid feedback that would create a fixed mindset. Where would your thumb be? It's a critical factor for an engaged classroom. Where would your thumb be? As soon as the kid gets the test back, if you don't allow them a chance to look it over and find out what they missed, don't just go over that test. Look it over, find out what they missed, and give them a chance to reconnect and work to learn, and then retake that test, then you, in fact, have given them a fixed mindset. You missed it today. You should have studied harder. This isn't about learning. This is about points in time. Your message will be clear in the concepts of learning. And the final one is that you actually use a story every now and then, or you use a quote every now and then to inspire kids to persevere and continue on and to work really hard. You have kids keep their own quote books. Shaka Smart, who's the coach at the VCU, some of you may remember their March to Madness Final Four. They're the 65th team. Yeah, they had to play in. Nobody thought they should be there. Shaka Smart shows enthusiasm and intensity in his practices with his players. He has 110 pages of quotes that he uses to inspire himself and inspire his kids. He pulled one out when a newspaper reporter says, "Coach, what do you think about the prediction that says your VCU Rams have a 0.9% chance of winning the tournament?" And he says, "Well, that's like from the movie Dumb and Dumber, isn't it? So you're saying we have a chance, right?"